It's WrestleMania season, and you know the boy gets super excited about anything WWE. So I'm checking in with some of the wrestlers as they get ready for the show of all shows. And today's episode is brought to you by Total Wireless, the official wireless provider of UFC. They're in your corner with unlimited 5G data that will not slow you down.
Daniel Cormier!
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Guys, so you know, if you watch anything I've done, any of my fights, you know how much of a WWE fan I am. So this, to me, is like a dream come true. You know, I did this in Los Angeles a couple years ago. I was on a side stage. I spoke to Omos. We took a photo. It was like the most shared photo I've ever had in my entire life because you have a giant and then you have me, who doesn't look like I could fight anyone, but clearly I can fight. So now we're on the main stage. And not only on the main stage, but we are going to be joined by two of the biggest stars in wrestling today, world champions, legends, guys that I'm a massive fan of. And my first guest is a guy that I really do enjoy, a guy that I think, he's my favorite wrestler. He's the current world champion. He is a former NXT UK champion, the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time. Yo, you know what's crazy about this dude? He has like one title reign in every belt because he never loses. And that's why I love him so much. Guys, give it up for my first guest, the Ring General, Gunther. Look at that. That is a beautiful belt champion. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you giving me some time.
Thank you for having me, though.
You know, when I started watching wrestling again, and I started watching you and noticing you for the first time, you stood out right away because of the physical ability. You beat people up, man. And for a guy like me that likes watching people get beat up and that likes to beat people up, you are a breath of fresh air. How'd you develop that style inside the ring?
I mean, first of all, thank you for saying that. Coming from you, that means something. Whatever they think, I don't pay too much attention to be honest. But that coming from you means a lot. I always liked, I was a big fan of the Japanese wrestlers back then, the European wrestlers, and that style was way more physical, sports-based, and yeah, intense. And I just thought it makes sense from a body constitution over time, and that's what I stuck with.
You know, I watched you in Los Angeles with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, and by the end of that match, you guys were all battered and bruised. When you're done with a match like that and you go back to the back, what's that feeling, right? Knowing that you laid it all out on the line and put on one of the greatest matches of the entire year.
Well, in that moment, you feel alive afterwards, because in our careers, it's those 10 to 20 minutes in the ring, that's what you all do it for. At least from my perspective. Like everything around it, the travel, the training, everything, all the hardships around it, they really pay off when I can be in there for 20 minutes or something and leave it all in the ring.
Hey, Gunther, so you won the world championship, or the King of the Ring, and the crowd, us, right, all the fans, we said, you deserve it. And you so disrespectfully told us it doesn't matter what we think. Why do you dislike that we appreciate you, man?
You're turning on me here. I excluded you. I was just talking about them.
But I'm one of them. I'm one of these guys.
No, it's all right. I appreciate it a little bit, I swear.
Hey, this journey, though, Gunther, when I was introducing you, or when I'm doing my background into you, you're the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. When you held the belt in NXT, one of the longest reigns of all time. Now as the champion, the world champion, another long reign. How important is it for you to not only become champ, but to hold on to these titles, right? Have these long, sustained reigns, to be able to tell your story and really stand atop the sport as you have?
I think I always thought about it like, I wanted to be a great champion in professional wrestling. I want to represent that. And I always liked the ideas. I don't know, there's all those crazy records like 5-time Intercontinental Champion, 10 times World Champion, all of that. I'd rather win a title once, hold it for a very long time, leave my mark, and then move on to the next thing.
You know, that's a great answer. But you really don't care that they're clapping for you.
See, that's what I'm getting from them.
See what I'm saying? They go.
I'm the bullied one here.
But you're
not
the
them.
bully because he said you're going to lose your belt this weekend.
Yeah, sure.
Gunther, I saw some pictures of you from the past, and you were a big boy. You kind of look like me in retirement, right? Like, not me when I was fighting. You look like me today. How important was it for you to change yourself physically? And how important or how much can you attribute that weight loss and you physically changing to how you're perceived in the WWE today?
Yeah, well, first of all, for my health, it was very important to change it up at some point. Overall, over the years, I was never that big when I was younger. I was always doing sports, and then I stopped playing football and switched to wrestling, and I gained a lot of weight. And then in wrestling, I always liked those guys like Vader and Stan Hansen.
Yeah, Vader was the man.
A lot of the Japanese heavyweights were like bulky guys. And I kind of, I don't know, I guess I romanticized it a bit, where I like compared myself to that. I always liked the idea of like a proper heavyweight wrestler looks like the next door's butcher or something like that, you know what I mean? But it came to a point when the career progressed and I knew, okay, I'm going to be on television every week now. I had to update that to, maximize this whole thing to the full extent. And that was the decision I made. And it was a good experience doing that. It takes a lot of, as you know, like a diet, like going down and down and down takes so much discipline, and it ruins your social life and everything around it. And it was good to, test myself with that and have that experience. And it helped me to find a good balance now.
It felt good with the clothes. Like, I got to tell you, when I was making 205, my pant size was going down like 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
I was going from like a 38 to like a 34, 32. And I sit in the mirror saying, I look good. You look in the mirror, don't you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know, do you believe there's been a change in WWE?
Yeah.
This new regime, they love you. Obviously, you keep winning belts. Do you think you would have had that success with the prior regime?
I don't think so, no. Not to that extent or in that way, I think. I was always like a Triple H guy. Like, that was the guy I dealt with most of my career in WWE, and I had a shorter stint under the old regime. But ever since then, I think, especially as European guys, we gotta thank Hunter for a lot of things, because he was the one that opened WWE to the world outside of that universe, to wrestling abroad, wrestling on the independents. And that just opened, that just gave us so many possibilities to step into. That was a crucial moment for me in my career. There was definitely a little bit be at the right time, be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that things are how they are right now. And I'm thinking we're just getting started with everything. We're red hot now. It's taking off everywhere, and we're just getting started.
You told me in the back that it's been 20 years since you started wrestling.
Yes.
WrestleMania weekend. I'm going through the airport, and the amount of people that are here to watch you guys perform, to take part in what is the biggest weekend in wrestling. What does it mean to you, Gunther, to have that, right? To be able to be not only on the card of all cards, but to be one of the headliners, to be one of the show starters and have the opportunity to steal the show. Does that still resonate with you as it did the first time you got the call that you were going to wrestle on this card?
I feel like right now what it really feels like, and I think there was after that match you just talked about before with Sheamus and Drew, it was like a confirmation for myself, like, I belong here.
Yeah.
Like, I belong here and I can run things here. And I'm enjoying it right now. That's what I worked for my whole life, and I'm not trying to load pressure on myself. I'm just here to enjoy it. And yeah, on Saturday when I get out there with Jey Uso, I'm gonna enjoy kicking his ass for 20 minutes. That's what I'm gonna do.
So Gunther, to get to that, right? To get to the matchup, I had Jey Uso on my podcast a while back, and he was excited about winning the Royal Rumble. He was excited about the idea that he become world champion for the first time. And he had his sights set solely on you to become the world champion. The build to this match has been fantastic. You assaulted his brother. You assaulted his brother in a way where you should have been arrested. You should have been arrested for what you did to poor Jimmy Uso. He's a good guy.
That's why we all signed a waiver up front. That's
How has that been, building to this match and knowing that all these people, they want to get their hands up. They want to dance. They want to say yeet. I mean, how does it feel every time you walk out there, you get the boos and Jey Uso gets the cheers and the love?
I mean, one thing I claim for myself, nobody pisses on a parade like I do. I think I'm the best at that. And yeah, I mean, the thing is with Jey, it's hard to not like him. I get that. And he's been busting his ass in his company since his whole career. He's always been with WWE. So it's not his fault that he's a little bit delusional. I went to wrestling university all around the world. I've been through every scenario. I've been all around the globe before I came to WWE. So I don't blame Jey for thinking the way he thinks, but on Saturday I'll make him understand. I'll make him feel it. My words, they didn't work up front.
Gunther, you have wrestled Jey Uso before.
Three times.
3 times.
Beat him 3 times.
Beaten him 3 times. But he's more motivated today than he has ever been. When you stand in that ring with him now, can you see that different level of intensity than you saw before?
I gotta admit I can. And that was the whole thing the last weeks. I always knew Jey had it in him because we saw it from him before. But I was surprised that it actually comes out of him in this scenario now because there's more pressure on him right now because of all those people having expectations than ever before. That's something I don't deal with. Like I said before, I do not care what they think, what they say. I'm doing all of this solely for myself.
Yeah.
So mentally, I'm in a way better state than he is. But he showed me the different side in the last weeks, and I'm happy I can take on the best version of Jey Uso on Saturday.
Yeah. Gunther, you always had Imperium before. Do you like standing alone now, where you're out there by yourself, or do you kind of miss having the whole group?
Both is nice. I've been with a group for a long time, but then I've been alone for a while, and then I was with a group again, and now I'm on myself again. So both has its ups and downs, but I think I'm good where I'm right now. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question. This is me, the fan, right? The Gunther fan. Yo, what's your finisher? Is there a finisher? Like, is it the sleeper or is it the powerbomb? Like, what is your? You have no finisher. I think that, to me, is probably one of the best things about you, right? You do that big splash off the top rope, which is poetry in motion. Like, a big man jumping off the rope like that, amazing. The powerbomb, the sleeper. What's your finishing move, man?
Yeah, I don't have one. Whatever ends the match on that day, in that situation, what makes the most sense, that's what I'm gonna do. And I might need to slow down on the big splash. I gotta say, when I was heavier, it was easier on myself. I gotta be honest, but yeah, overall, what makes sense in a situation, and I've never been a big fan of that. Just have one specific finishing move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I decided. In general, my career, whatever everybody else did thing A, I try not to do it.
It's
to
awesome.
Be different.
It's awesome, man. That's part of the reason that I enjoy your fighting style so tremendously. Before you get to the match this weekend, tell these fans what you're going to do to Jey Uso, or give Jey Uso a message. Camera's back there. Tell Jey Uso what he can look forward to this weekend, and let these fans know, this gentleman right here, he keeps yelling, you're going to lose your belt. He right there with that glass. Him right there. Give him that message about how disappointed he's going to be come Saturday night, because I got you, Gunther.
You better sit your ass down right there before I come down. I'm going to beat your ass, okay? You understand?
Get him out. Yeah.
Sit your ass down. Nobody cares what you got to say. Come on.
You have no message for them.
No. My words, they don't land with those people.
Yes.
They can't grasp it. They can digest a 4-letter word. They're pretty good at that. But everything over a sentence, it's pretty hard to digest for them. So
Yeah.
everything's said and done.
Well, you are one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, man.
Thank you for having me.
ESPN's Male Wrestler of the Year, 2023-24. Give it up for the ring general, the world champion, Gunther